Welcome to my views and news. Some news stories for you. First one is about Ethiopian finance minister who has arrived in China. It seems Ethiopia is looking towards China for financial rescue because government is in the grip of a financial crisis. Secondly, Wolaita viewers, last month referendum was held in the SNNPR regional state in six zones, then five special woredas of the zone of the regional state election. Referendum was held. Referendum was for the creation of a new regional state split with SNNPR. And everyone was waiting for the result of this referendum, especially what happened in Wolaita. Because people of Wolaita, they have been struggling for a separate regional state for years. And some groups in Wolaita, they were rejecting the referendum. Now, results have been approved by National Election Board of Ethiopia of all regions and woredas except the result of Wolaita. Thirdly was Debre Berhan. Yesterday we reported about mass displacements from Valaga towards Debre Berhan. Now, Debre Berhan administration says it is not in a position to welcome newcomers because city is not in a position to accommodate more IDPs. And last, viewers, Eritrea, good news for Eritreans that Henok Muluberhan has won the third stage of Tour du Rwanda. Firstly, as we have been sharing with you in previous videos, new stories about financial crisis being faced by Ethiopian government, we've been informing you about efforts by the Ethiopian government to secure loans and grants from IMF, from World Bank, from US, EU. And some countries have announced individual financial support for Ethiopian government, but government could not secure any big loan from the IMF or World Bank or some other entity. Though talks have been held, we have seen meetings between PM Abiy and these international institutions heads. And it seems that now Ethiopia is exploring more avenues for financial rescue. Ethiopia is in dire need of financial aid, direct financial aid, because its financial situation is worsening and foreign exchange reserves are dwindling very fast. Now, what we have learned is that a top Ethiopian delegation has arrived in Beijing, China. Delegation is led by Ahmed Shide, finance minister. Though it is being said that the delegation will have high-level meetings which will focus on economic ties between the two countries. But what we have learned is that this is an attempt from the government for financial rescue from China. Government is looking towards China for financial aid. Will China provide such an aid, financial aid, not investment, because investment is always long term, but Ethiopia and China is already investing in Ethiopia. What is needed is direct, immediate financial aid of maybe a billion or more than $1 billion. Ethiopia has been trying to get this support from Middle Eastern countries too, but no positive response so far. Let's see what China says. So we'll try to update you in coming videos about this key visit of Ethiopian finance minister to Beijing. Secondly, viewers, Last month, a referendum was held in SNNPR, Southern Nations, Nationalities and Peoples region of Ethiopia. Referendum was held for the creation of a new regional state. New regional state will comprise 6 zones and 5 special Woredas. Wolaita would be part of this new regional state. It will split with SNPR, like Sidama split. Referendum was being opposed in Wolaita, in Gurage as well. Both Gurage and Wolaita, they want to be separate regional states like Tigray, Amhara, Oromia, etc. But PM Abiy's government is not backing creation of new regional states along ethnic lines. It created Southwest state and its name is Southwest State, not a name after any ethnic group. Now, referendums results have been approved by National Election Board of Ethiopia. But Wolaita's result has not been approved. National Election Board of Ethiopia says more investigation is needed. Irregularities have been seen at the voting held in Wolaita. There is difference between number of registered voters and number of votes cast. And we know that everyone was waiting about the result of referendum in Wolaita. In other zones and special Woredas, it was expected that people would support the creation of a new regional state. Problem was that government was facing resistance in Wolaita. Some groups, they were rejecting the referendum. And now referendum results from Wolaita, they have been stopped, not made public. More investigation needed. Questions are now being raised about transparency of this referendum in Wolaita. Is government trying to hide the voting result? And is it that Wolaita people have rejected the referendum? The government will now try to do some engineering, political engineering to produce new result. Whatever the case is, but there is stiff resistance to creation of a regional state in Wolaita, in which Wolaita will be part of some other zones and special zones. Let's see when National Election Board of Ethiopia will complete its investigation. And will it approve the result after investigation, or will it order a new referendum in Wolaita? Thirdly was Debre Berhan, Amhara region, where we know that thousands have arrived in the city from Walaga, where ethnic violence has been ongoing for years. Ethnic violence is escalating now, and Debre Berhan is not in a position to welcome more IDPs. Debre Berhan government has issued a statement. The local government says that there are already 6 IDP camps operating in Debre Berhan. City is not in a position to welcome more newcomers. It's a message for federal government, for regional government. Question is, where will the newcomers go if people want to leave Walaga? Debre Berhan is closed on them. So where will the people go? Does Amhara region have any policy to welcome, to accommodate these IDPs from Oromia, from Walaga, who are mostly ethnic Amharas, though they are Muslims. Largely, they are Muslims. And some people are accusing Amhara regional government that it is not proactively pursuing this case. It is not proactively supporting these IDPs because they are Muslims. This religious card is also being used by some groups. Once these IDPs enter Amhara region, it's the responsibility of Amhara government to ensure that IDPs get accommodation, food, etc. Like it's the responsibility of Oromia government to stop this displacement. These ethnic Amharas, whether Muslim or Christians, they should be given, their security should be improved in Valaga. It's Oromia government's responsibility that people in Oromia, whether Christians, Muslims, Oromos or Amharas, they should be protected. But it's not happening. People are fleeing. Some will say, Sajid, you're not covering the displacements of Oromos from Valaga. By the way, I did cover in the past. If you remember, when around 100 Oromos were killed a few weeks ago in Valaga, I did some videos on that. Talked about displacements too. But what is happening in Amhara region in terms of displacement from Valaga, it's not that it's a lie. No, it's happening. People are fleeing Valaga and they're entering Amhara region, but in Amhara, they're not welcome, it seems. Lastly, viewers, Eritrean cyclist Henok Muluberhan has won the third stage of Tour du Rwanda 2023 cycling race, and Henok Muluberhan is now leading after 3 stages. At the first stage, he was at number 3. And in the second stage, he was at number 2. And this was the longest stage of 8-stage race. 199.5 kilometer long third stage has been won by Henok Muluberhan. 2 previous stages, 1 and 2, were won by a British cyclist, Ethan Vernon, who was not part of this stage 3. It is the toughest stage. And Henok has proven that he is the champion cyclist in this race so far. 5 stages to go now. It's very interesting. I don't follow cycling much, by the way, but this cycling race is very interesting to see. The close contest that Muluberhan was at number 3, then at number 2, and today at number 1. He is now leading the race. We'll try to keep you updated about Tour du Rwanda 2023. So far, Eritrea has proven that it is a powerhouse of cyclists. Best cyclists in Africa are coming from Eritrea. Beniam Germe shining on world stage. Now, Henok Muluberhan and others too. Thank you for watching.